It was a Sunday, and I had stayed home from church because it wasn't, my back kind of hurt, and so I sent John to church, and I just started having contractions, and I'm going, these are like 4 minutes apart, about a minute long. I think this is labor. And as soon as we got in the car, my labor became even more intense and really painful. Then we got closer toward the hospital, my water broke. And up until this point, I had kind of secretly hoped that they could stop my labor or something, because it was only 27 weeks. As we rounded the parking lot, I could feel her coming out.
All of a sudden we hear this call, we need a doctor out in the parking lot right now. Now usually, that means something bad. I ran as fast as I could and found a car that was right there, and it was fairly clear at that point that somebody was having a baby. My first question to most of the patients that I see out in the parking lot is, how far along are you? That's what I want to know. And she gave me this look that was almost pained, like she was pretty scared at that point. And she said 27 weeks. My heart just sank immediately. That's just a very scary scenario. We're out in the parking lot, number one, and now we've got a super preemie that we're going to attempt to deliver in the parking lot. It's April, and it wasn't terribly cold, but it's not a delivery suite in the labor and delivery room with every specialist around.
The response time from the time we pulled up to getting everybody to the car was pretty incredible.
When we got down to deliver the baby, I looked down, and to my horror, I saw a breech. This baby was coming out backwards with only her bottom showing. That just adds a whole nother layer to the difficulty that we faced with Lily. I looked at Mom and said, we're gonna have to do some things here, you and I. We're gonna have to get this baby out right now.
All the while they're gathering information, and they were definitely prepared.
And we were able to deliver the baby's feet, and then we were able to fully deliver the baby. I looked down, and the baby had her cord wrapped around her neck twice.
You could tell there was a little worry in their voices, and we were definitely worried.
I just couldn't believe. We're out in the parking lot. We have a 27-week baby, breech, and now her cord is wrapped around her neck twice.
There's, 10 people around trying to help out, and so then they, cut the umbilical cord, and he just ran with her, doing CPR all the way.
I immediately felt down on her cord, right at her belly button stump, and that's where we feel to see if there's a pulse. There was no pulse. Lily made no motion. She was completely limp. She was purple, and she wasn't breathing. I started doing CPR on this baby. This baby fit completely in my hands. She was so small. I started doing CPR. I gave her a couple of mouth-to-mouth breaths right there in the parking lot and started running.
Luckily the door was open and he was able to go and get her intubated.
She was the very smallest airway I think I'll ever see in my whole life. As soon as we got her intubated, I did hands off and let the NICU team take over.
Just kind of sat back and watched the doctors work their magic and inject her with the surfactant that she needs to clear her lungs and get a breathing tube. And we're very grateful she only had to be on the breathing tube for a very, very short time.
It was also kind of a little miracle that they were ready there to open the doors and get her right into where she needed the best care to get her going.
I remember John, Dad, came up, and I remember turning around and he was there, and I just had this wild look on my face like, what just happened? And I said, I hope she's great. And I was just stunned.
We thought we'd had a pretty exciting story because our first son was, I was life-flighted, and he was born also early, so we didn't think we could really beat that, but I guess Lily decided that she had to be born in the parking lot.
One up.
I've even asked some of my partners and my residency directors if they've ever seen anything like this, and they just never have. We've
had our definite excitement in delivery. I think we're ready for not so exciting. I think it's pretty miraculous what they can do outside the womb.
I just had to see her alive and in the incubator and intubated and with a heartbeat. I just had to see it with my own eyes.
The gratitude that I feel for having the technology that we have, having the people being in the right place at the right time, because those first moments are pretty crucial.
Every second counted for Lily. Their first moments of life were tenuous and treacherous and needed every second. They needed all of us to work together as a team to get her the right care. We were here for her, and she made it. And she is now growing up in a home with a mom and a dad that love her, and she's gonna have a great life.